Hey guys, this is Carlos here, and this is gonna be the 100th video special, right? 100! Wow! Crazy. I have like a few notes here, and so I don't get sidetracked about things that I say. I tend to lose track of what my mind is doing sometimes. I'm in the middle of a conversation, and because I'm extroverted, I'm going to initiate new points. And I'm like, oh, well, what was the whole point I was trying to make? I want to know. So, example one, I don't even know what I'm doing. Let's go. But, it's never always been this way. I've never always been this happy in life. And everybody always asks me, why are you always so happy? Why is there, like, every time I see you, you're smiling. Every time I see you, you're happy. And you know what? There's only one explanation for that, and that's me discovering how short life is. And like I said, to refer back to, it never used to be like that. I was a kid, right? Around 13, 12, and I was someplace, and this girl comes up to me, or she's talking. I think it's at school, and I heard in the lunchroom. She said, I have it in my notes here, like, what's the point of living if we're all gonna die anyway? And that shit completely changed my life. Because it really got me thinking as a kid, like, what is the point? What is the point of life? And I've been on this major journey to figure out what the point of life is, but for myself and not necessarily, in general. I've looked at so many philosophies, delved deep into, to a certain amount of delving deep into every kind of religion, trying to get a grasp on how people interpret life. And I've came to the conclusion that, and this is in a book by Daniel C. Dennett, and he's like a new age philosopher, scientist. He mixes real science in with philosophy. It's the bat theory, the batch and back, and he says life is like the point of life is reasons, and it gets you thinking. Even like, okay, at face value, life is reasons, huh? Well, life is reasons because whatever reason it is for you to live in life is the correct reason, and that goes back to my mass audience video where I explained. Dismantling people's egos, and once you dismantle people's beliefs, they just then become like you're effectively hurting them and destroying their reasons for living. Because the truth is, in that book, basically what I put two to two together is that nobody truly knows. Not the highest extent of scientists. They get to a certain point and they'll tell you, I don't know. And that's what we're trying to figure out, right? There's so many questions to life, to like any one of these philosophies, any one of these religions can be correct. We don't know. We don't know what the truth is, And that's what's so amazing and wonderful, because not knowing it. And you know what? In Marcus Aurelius' book too, he says, even if we did find out and there was no God, it wouldn't matter to me. Kind of same, I'm on the same boat. I'm on the same wavelength as him. Like, if I did find out, it wouldn't matter to me. Because we just exist. And like I said, the reasons for me living is keeping me alive. Just like your reasons for you living is keeping you alive. And that's why I'm never like, I try to not be judgmental, but let's face it, we're all judgmental as humans, all judgmental as people, and I'm not perfect. Simply read Marcus Aurelius' book 7, and those are a lot of things in that section when he says, you call yourself a part instead of a limb. And I was talking to one of my friends about this the other day, about how I was feeling like not good enough, actually. And people were like, you're such a good person, you're so this. I was like, I'm not good enough because, I don't truly love people from the bottom of my heart, every single person. And you might think like that's such an impossible task to figure out, but to me, that's one of my goals, is to care about everyone to a point where it's like equal. Because I also see TikToks of like people and talking to their brother's murderer in court, and they're just like, we forgive you. If he was alive, he would have forgiven you, and they hug in the end. It's such a sublime, strange way of perceiving others that hurt you that I could have never imagined. There's so many things in my life right now that's kind of like saying that there's more to meets the eye, but in a far greater extent than I could have realized. Especially reading this new book. I think it's by, I don't know, I'll have it up on screen here, but basically, in that book, he explains grandfather. I think it's Ted Wood or something. But he explains his grandfather and how he is a Native American and how he lives his life. One point in the story, they go on a walk and he calls him out to walk, and it was the strangest thing ever. So then he's on high alert, the grandchild, right? And he's looking around, he's trying to observe and trying to find the answers to why, because he spoke in symbolisms, he spoke in like he was an amazing teacher. That to me is like an amazing teacher trying to figure out for himself. And basically, he's like, so the grandfather was like, so what did you learn on that walk? And then he said a few things, this, and this. What did you observe? This, and this. Okay, what did you observe? To his grandfather. And he spoke all day about the moss on the rock, how long that moss has been there, the treks in the woods, the deer, whether it was male or female, from the patch that he crossed, the water, the waves, the wind, how fast they were going, the birds chirping. That bird isn't usually on that branch today. Things like that is such a complete mind fuck to me. Like, I want to get on that level so bad. I want to be on that level so bad. To the point where I'm loving the earth. I'm loving Mother Nature so much that nothing matters. And I have a Pisces South node, so apparently I've already lived that life. Just looking at researching alone of South Node in our past lives, I've lived that life. I always have this thought of dying on a mountain. And I'm like, what if that thought, it already happened, but in my past life? Why am I thinking I'm dying on a mountain? And that's what my Virgo North Node is trying to express to me. I also have a Virgo Ascendant. So it's basically telling me all the lessons I've learned in my past life about self-love, self-actualization, being like a Buddha, right? Being this one with nature. I then share it with the rest of the world. And to me, like, it is very difficult because, like I said, I have that South Node in Pisces. And that's something I struggle with my whole life, is kind of like quitting jobs and, just wanting to be alone and to be on my own and by myself and not talk to anyone. That's not how I'm supposed to technically live my life, if I want to be happy, that is. And that would be to express my thoughts to the world. And here I am now, my 100th video, explaining what I go through, what I think about day to day. I spend a lot of time alone. Just the job I do, I spend time alone. I'm trying to get out more. The things I do now, they require me to get along with others in a way that I've never experienced. This family dynamic, this closeness with other people is not my thing. It's never been my thing. I've always been somebody who, I would go outside. If nobody wanted to play baseball with me as a kid, I would just throw the ball up and swing by myself for hours on end. Or I would do things like the example with grandfather, where he kind of stared into the woods and admired the beauty of it and just absorbed the love of life. I did that with like chickens when I was a kid. Like I would just sit there for hours, and my own grandfather could tell you, because those were his, just observing them, how the chickens, they move, how they interact with each other, and where they sit, how the females act, how the males act, what time they start, making their noise. I don't want to say because then it'll take away the seriousness. But that to me is like the beauty of the world. And I've noticed that since I was a small kid. I've noticed that since I was a kid. I was like, I just need to get back in touch with that. Or do I have to necessarily? Is the question. Oh man. I'm also crazy too. That's why I'm like, I say things and I keep to myself, because I know if I say these things to normal average people, they're like, you're fucking nuts, man. You're crazy. And then they stay away from me. And that's what I've kind of noticed throughout my years in life. I had to always pretend to be somebody I'm not to go along with others. But now that I'm older, I'm learning to express myself in a way. Who cares? I don't need your acceptance. I have my own acceptance. I discovered the truth of this in my past life. You know what I'm saying here? Everybody, like, I learned this lesson. I learned what self-love is. That's why I'm in this new life, trying to give that back to my community, because that's something I never did. Because that's my karma from my past life, is that I was selfish, decided to go on my own to do things, and discover my true purpose in love and being one with nature. Yet I neglected the people in my life. Yet I neglected the others, in my opinion, because I don't know the truth. But I like to think that way. These things, like I said, keep us alive. And those are one of my beliefs that keeps me alive, is understanding, like, there's new lessons for me to learn now that I still haven't actualized into reality for others. And there's a lot of things going on too. I don't just do readings for myself or for you guys. I go to like other tarot readers. I watch other tarot readers, obviously. And two of them I watch, I don't know their names right now, but they kind of been saying like, cherish your own advice. I think that is something I've been struggling with recently, is, I'm kind of thinking like my advice is kind of like, who cares? Or basically there's insecurity there. There's insecurity there when it comes to my own beliefs, my own advice. And basically what they're trying to explain to me is that it does matter. The things that I say do matter. And they do make sense. But in a way, not in my head, speaking to you guys, but it makes sense. And I kind of noticed that too. It makes sense for you guys, but in a different interpretation of how I'm saying it. Not just for you guys in general, in my comments and my DMs, and I thank you guys, by the way. I appreciate all the thanks and support and praise. It's truly amazing. It's truly astounding to see. But when I say things, people interpret it the way that's applicable to their mind and to their life. But yet it helps them. But it was not the way that I was trying to express that idea. But yet it still helped them anyway. That's the beauty in my own advice. And that's where I learned the value in my advice. And I'm just glad to say things and people still get something out of it, even though that's not what I meant. Even though I meant to express it in a different way. And to go back onto the praise point, there's a quote by Marcus Aurelius too. Of course, I mostly subscribe to the philosophy of Stoicism. And he says, how quickly, like, watch as praise quickly turns to blame. And I'm waiting for that day. But I see it every day. The things you do people love you for it, and the next day they're getting mad at you like it's your fault. And that's why Marcus Aurelius says in his books, basically, that whole idea is to put less value on praise, on thanks, because it completely can change on you. And always be thanking yourself for the love that you give yourself. I will always praise myself, and I'll always be hard on myself, but I'm doing it out of love. Because if I didn't do it out of love, I would just be dead. If you know what I'm saying. I'll probably have timestamps for all this, but maybe not, because I don't even know where to start if I were to timestamp any of this. I'm kind of just saying things that, it's for my 100th video, right? So I kind of want to get an idea out there about who I am, kind of, how my mind works, and I guess I should talk about why I do this. So actually, I've been only doing this for about like 6 months. But I've been doing this a little bit more than that. January started. That was my New Year's resolution, is to stay consistent enough with my readings so I can get every sign out for every month. And I try to do the weeklies, but to me, I feel like the weeklies are kind of pointless. But I do get value out of weeklies from other people, so I might start picking it up again. But I also like doing the collectives. I also want to do live streams and certain things like this, like sitting down. I also want to start like laying the ground rules for an idea I have, but I don't want to express it just yet. It's going to be a secret, right? Secrets. I got a Scorpio moon, so I'm really big into secrets. But like good secrets, because it goes well with my Capricorn sun, right? Keep telling yourself that. Then I cracked myself up. That's the thing as well, that some advice, like people's advice, are so skewed over time. Even Marcus Aurelius' books. You go online, look up book 1. There's just one YouTuber that leaves out like one of the things he said. And everyone called him out on it. But that's probably what they did for that book itself. For when they were translating. We don't know the actual truth behind who translated it, what they left out. And that's what Marcus Aurelius meant by, like, how many of these people, he said, yeah, I'm the ruler of Rome, but this world is so vast. How many people don't even know my name? How many people are going to even remember you? And that's what got me thinking, to add on to that point that he mentioned, that yeah, they remember Marcus Aurelius, yeah, you remember George Washington, but the past has been so skewed by agendas and things of that nature, what people want to hear, that their personalities, their true personalities, are lost in time. We don't know how Marcus Aurelius truly 100% was. We never will. We've never met him. We never talked to him. We can only assume based off his writings and history classes, of course. But there's things deeper than that. We don't know. Yeah, he wrote it down, but how much did he not write down? How much did he keep things to himself, even through his text? There are certain things that your personality will be forgotten. Like at some point, 100%, like not 100%, maybe not 90%, like 80% of your personality guaranteed to be gone, even if only people know your name. And that's what I'm trying to get at here, is that that's where my happiness comes from. These kind of things are my reasons for life. And I live every day like it's my last. I live every day like I'm going to die tomorrow. I can press stop on this video right now and be dead tomorrow. So I live life with purpose. I live life happily, knowing that I tried my best, that I never gave up. Even though there was plenty of times in my life where I almost did. And I mean giving up by actually dying. We all have inner problems that nobody tells everyone. But if you were to dwell in the past like that, how are you going to be happy? How are you going to live with yourself? It can't hurt you anymore. It's gone. It's done. It's over with. And the fact that you're still alive today through the problems that you went through, I also tell myself this, then it must have not been that bad. As severe could it have been. Am I still breathing? Do I still have legs? Can I still move my arms? Can I still see? Maybe not with glasses. There's people out there that have it worse. And I'm not saying compare yourself to others. I'm saying, and nor am I discounting other people's, and nor am I discounting my problems and issues, but thinking like that can significantly improve the way you view life and how happy you can be. This person hurt you because he's ignorant to what you go through. And that's another thing I like to touch on too. And Vinland Saga has done so. And that's love, human love, being discrimination. And that's such a deep thing to think about as well. And I feel like I'm going to leave it on that for next time. See you in another 3 months, right? Where I'm at 200 videos, right? 35 subscribers. That's kind of crazy. But thanks you guys for watching me. Thank you guys for just reaching out. I do offer personal readings. It could either be through Zoom, or I can send you a video format where you ask a question, I just send you a video. I've done multiple enough. So if you're willing or wanting or have a question or concern, or just wanting to see what's going on in your life, what path you should choose, what it would look like if you did choose those paths, anything you want, just send me a message. We can work out the details in my DMs. I have all my social media linked in my channel bio, but it might be on this description bio. I don't know. It's just me doing all this. I do my own editing. I do my own, I put all my effort into these videos. I try to make as much time as I can, and I work every day. And if I'm not working, I'm at school. And if I'm not at school, I'm 25, by the way, so of course I'm like I'm old. I'm in my working phase, as the red pill community would say. I'm in my working phase. In my 20s. Get some. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end it there, since I've already mentioned all those things that I would be saying. So thanks for sticking by me, guys, and I will see you in the next one.